Changing a pressure relief valve on a hot water tank, pretty easy. These things do go bad. You're supposed to test them once a year. I don't know a lot of people that do that, but this one's actually been dripping. There's a little puddle on the floor, and the temperature in this tank's really not that hot. It's hot, but it's not like boiling hot. So the valve is bad. It's best just to change it out. So start by turning the gas valve, the temperature thing, all the way off. Well, you can turn it to pilot or vacation just so it doesn't come on while you're working on it. If you turn it all the way off, then you got to relight it. But safety, safety. So water coming in, water going out the tank. Shut the the cold water coming into the tank. I shut that off. There's another shut off on the hot side going out, but I'm gonna leave that open so we can let some air in there so the tank can drain a little easier. You need to get the water level at least below the pressure relief valve there. So when you take it out, it's you're not dumping water all over the place. So unless you want to flush the tank, you can just leave it go all the way. So figure out where your drain is, hook a hose to it. This one has a handle there, lefty loosey, let the water out. So I got a little chunk of hose run to a floor drain over here and open that thing up, and then we'll open a faucet, let some air in. Very few things you need for this. The new valve, the channel lock, some pipe dope, or Teflon tape, and maybe a pipe wrench and a rag. So not a whole lot to it. This has been draining for a little while, so I'm going to open up this pressure relief valve just by pulling up on that tab, and you can hear air rush in there. And there's no water coming out, so the water is definitely below there. I could take it off now. I'm going to go ahead and flush the tank. You can feel where it grabs in the middle there. It holds that valve open, and there's no water coming out. So just letting some air in there so it can drain real good. More air, the better. It'll drain faster. So you can take off this extension piece that runs down to the floor and get that out of the way, and then a little pipe wrench. You got the old one off. There's some calcium. Water's pretty hard. A couple little chunks of stuff in there. Clean that out, then get the chunks out, and then wipe it out with a rag. Get what I can. And then it's just a matter of sticking the new one in, pretty much. So got some Teflon pipe dope on there. I like the creamy stuff. I don't like the tape. And then just make sure you get it started good, and you're not cross-threading it or anything. So righty-tighty and crank it in there. Doesn't you don't have to kill this thing, but you want to make sure it's snug. So put a pipe wrench on it and twist it around once. If it feels like it could go another whole turn, try to get it around twice if you can. And that's it. Make sure that it's closed. I'm going to open it, let some air in there because I am flushing the tank. And that's pretty much it. So you can put your extension hose back on, take your drain off, close it up, make sure that thing's not dripping, because sometimes those things don't want to close again if it's an older tank. We're going to hold off on starting the water heater back up till it's full of water. Got the new valve in, no leaks. Got water coming in here. Going to fill the tank, let the air out of the lines, and then we'll fire up the hot water tank after all that's done. So pretty easy project. If you got I don't know, I think it might have taken longer to drain the water out of the tank, but here I got the tank set back where it was. It was actually on low, which is actually pretty hot on this tank. So tank's really not that old, so I'm surprised that valve went bad. Well, actually no, I'm not, because they just don't make things like they used to. Double check for leaks if you get this thing under some pressure, and that's about it. So get the tank turned back on, the air out of the lines, and important thing, make sure you read the old one and get one that matches the specs on those things. It might not be exact as far as the shape, but that tag needs to read the same. It tells it, when to open and that kind of stuff, what it's rated for and stuff like that. So make sure you read that at tag real good and get the right replacement. But other than that, pretty easy project. So yeah, I hope that helps.